this, you mean the, my soul, when they come up, you mean? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Are we going with Bob?
I guess we are.
So we're going to start early?
Well, I think that means 3 minutes.
Don't forget that I've moved this back, so. Oh, you're gonna have, okay. Oh. Okay. Not too much of that. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Oh, no. Okay. You're picking up my energy, that's what it is. You're picking up my energy, that's what it is.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, friends. Hi, PMH. Hi, Richard. Hi, everybody. It is a beautiful day to be here at Unity of Charlottesville. I have some news for you. He's back. He's back. Reverend Don Lansky, our illustrious, I can't speak this morning, our illustrious minister is back from vacation. Yes, 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 woo! Yes, and we did miss him, and we know he had look how refreshed he looks. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And we had two wonderful guest speakers while he was gone. One of them is sitting right here, our beloved PMH, who we love so much. She did a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful job. And you may have noticed this is not Blair. Mm-hmm. This is not Blair.
It's
Are you
Blair
Blair?
without hair.
It's Blair without hair. Yeah, Blair has a lot of hair. So I'd like to introduce our guest musician today, and you all are going to just love him. He is going to rock the house. We have Daniel K. Pohl. Yes, and Don will share a little bit more with him about him in a few minutes, but we're going to start rocking right now. So get ready, stand up, because you're going to want to stand up the whole service today, folks.
You are going to want to stand up for this one. And you'll notice we're not going to put up any words for you guys, so you can just sing to your heart's content. The words are, we're standing on holy, we're standing on holy, we're standing on holy ground. Because wherever you are always standing on holy ground. So get ready to rock. Got Jim over there on the guitar as well. Look down and see what was given to you and me. Right here we know light it up now. So others away. Let them see a brand new day. Here we go. We're standing on holy. We're standing on holy. We're standing on holy ground. Whoa, whoa, yeah, one more time. We're standing on holy. Oh, oh. We're standing on holy. We're standing on holy ground. Here we go now. And right where we are, we've traveled so far. We came from Lynchburg, you know. And inside we know we've got further to go. Yes, we have. Throw the past in the fire so that we can go higher. Look down and say, woo, we are all that we need to be. Come on, everybody now. We're standing on holy. Yes, we are. We're standing on holy. We're standing on holy ground. We're standing on holy. Yes, we are. We're standing on holy. You guys at home, you're standing on holy ground too. Holy ground. Oh, yeah. Inside, outside, we can really bring the fire with our perfect appointment. We can raise vibration high, living into integrity. We can help the world to see, being all that we can be. We can lead humanity. Inside, outside, we can really bring the fire with our perfect appointment. We can raise vibration high, living into integrity. We can help the world to see, being all that we can be. We can lead humanity. Cause we're standing on holy. We're standing on holy. Yes, we are. We're standing on holy ground. We're standing on holy. Yes, we are. We're standing on holy. We're standing on holy ground. Two more times. We're standing on holy. Yes, we are. We're standing on holy now. We're standing on holy ground. We're standing on holy. Woo, woo, yeah. We're standing on holy. Come on now. We're standing on holy ground. We're standing on holy ground. Woo!
So please be seated on holy ground. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Unity of Charlottesville. People here are welcome from all faiths, all traditions, all cultures, all sexual identity, all gender orientation. Everybody is welcome here. And today happens to be the first day that we're broadcasting on YouTube only and Facebook, not on Zoom. So if you're if you're on Zoom, you probably can't see us, but if you're on YouTube, there are lots of different ways to access us on YouTube. You can go to our website on YouTube. You can go to our app. Unity of Charlottesville has an app and lots of other ways. So everybody's welcome, and thanks for being here this morning. And Patricia and I were in Virginia Beach for a couple of weeks, just gazing at the ocean. It was marvelous and wonderful, and I'm glad to be back. Missed y'all. And PMH, what a great talk you did. Fabulous. Thank you. Yeah, it was wonderful. So, let's do that. So it's our tradition to begin with prayer here. So let's just take a moment Take a deep breath. We have this glorious spring day. And so much to be grateful for in our lives, and amidst so much turmoil everywhere in the world. So we want to take a moment to just continue holding a vision of peace in the Ukraine and for all the refugees. This week I heard 5.7 million refugees from Ukraine, which matches the 5.7 million refugees of Syria, all from one man displacing all these people. So we send light and love to that region of the world. We send light and love to our own nation, wherever there is injustice, social injustice, wherever there is suffering or pain. We send light and love. And we'll look at our own lives now. If there's someone in your life that is in need of healing this morning, if you're facing a challenge yourself, we send love and light as spiritual community. We uphold and uplift each other's deepest dreams and desires for wholeness, for peace, for healing, for happiness. That is the power of spiritual community. And we pray all of this in the name and after the nature of the indwelling Christ. And say amen. Amen.
And if you would now join me together in sharing our statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, the good, omnipotent. And now we get to sing our welcome song. As if we haven't welcomed each other enough, we're going to welcome each other some more. Let's do it. You all know this one. Little different.
It's a little different feel this morning.
Little different vibe.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Waves, virtual hugs, greet your neighbors.
I am just where I'm supposed to be.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm
supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
All right.
Well, usually we have our kids go out with Mark. I don't see any children here today. So we'll just be all in service and welcome. We have a special, well, I also already mentioned this about YouTube, so I just want to make sure that everybody is aware of that. But we will be having a Zoom fellowship after the service. So if you're on Zoom and you'd like to have virtual fellowship on Zoom, what you'll need to do is log off of YouTube, log back on to Zoom, and that link is on our church website, unitycharlottesville.org. And I want to invite Richard and Valerie Fair to come up. Can you guys come up for a minute? Can you do it? So I don't know if you guys know, but this is the last Sunday that Richard and Valerie will be here. They're moving to Florida. You know, a great teacher once told me that the movements are for those who move, and so these guys are moving. And I want to just take a moment to just thank them publicly and have us all acknowledge the contribution that these folks have made in our community, just by their light, by their beauty, by their wonderful beingness. Richard's been on the facilities team. Just, you don't know this, but oftentimes he's here just running around the church, checking to make sure everything's working okay. He was the board president. Valerie is our master of celebrations and has brought so much joy to all the celebrations that we've had over the years. And so we will deeply, deeply miss you, and we appreciate you. And I wanted to see if we could all together just give them a blessing for their voyage. Together, Richard and Valerie, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ you are. Thank you guys so much.
And now let's share our mission statement together. Unity of Charlottesville empowers everyone to express their unique divinity, making a positive difference in the world.
So I want to introduce you to Daniel Capel. I first met Daniel, Patricia and I every year go to these Unity music conferences, which have just been wonderful over the years. And they kind of ended during the pandemic pretty much. But the first time I saw Daniel, he was at one of these conferences, and he just blew everybody away. He just came up, he played his violin to accompany someone, and everybody wanted him to accompany them after that. So he became like an instant overnight superstar. Daniel is the music minister at Unity of the Seven Hills in Lynchburg. He's known as the singing violinist. He's also performs with the Lynchburg Symphony. He plays out at wineries all around. He plays at Unity churches all around. And it's a really pleasure to have you here today. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. So what's the last thing you would expect from a violinist? How about the blues? All right, I think we turned down the monitor just a little bit, so if we could turn it back up a little bit, that'd be great. Let's get started. So, if you feel moved and you want to stand up or rock out, you do you. That's the whole message of this song. Jim's gonna do Jim. Never known. I was always left again. I said I lived a life of never know, where I was always left again. But there's one thing wrong with never know is never yet. You gotta step out of your box sometimes and take that chance. Oh, I walk between the highs and lows of life, and I never took a chance. Play it. Woo! I said I walk between the highs and the lows of life, and I never really took a chance. You know I always felt the music, but I never really stopped to dance. So I'm gonna dance for you on the violin. gonna buckle up and take the ride. I said, no excuses this time, baby, baby. I'm gonna buckle up and take the ride. No, there ain't no gain without the pain. I ain't gonna run away no more than So let me talk to these folks here now. So I believe that each one of you was placed here for a purpose. Each one of you has a mission. And all of those missions and those purposes interconnect, weaving together. You were supposed to be here at this time and in this place. So look around at you, and all the other people in here have these faces because they were supposed to be here too with you. Every day when you go out, when you travel around, you have a reason for being. You've got to find that passion, find that purpose, be that purpose. There you are. At the end, I want you to say yes with me to that. Oh, I'm done with that life I've never known, where I was always left to guess. I said, I'm done with that life I've never known, where I was always left to guess. You know I ain't gonna live that life I've never known no more. This time I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes. Say yes with me.
Yes.
Yes. Come on.
Thank you, Daniel. Great. So, a German Shepherd, a Doberman, and a cat died. They all went to heaven, and all three of them faced God, who wanted to know what they believed in. The German Shepherd said, I believe in discipline and training and loyalty to my master. Good said, God, you can sit on my right side. The Doberman said, I believe in the love, the care, and the protection of my master. God said, good, you can sit on my left side. And then God looked at the cat and he said, what do you believe? And the cat thought for a minute and replied, I believe you're sitting in my seat. So today we're talking about beliefs. We're talking about beliefs and the belief in incomplete spirituality. Marie Namath, who's one of our teachers, who's an author, a coach, and a prosperity teacher, has this definition of the purpose of life. She says that the purpose of life is to be fully awake, to be fully conscious conduits of energy. Now, what do you suppose that means, to be fully awake, to be fully conscious conduits of energy? Because it's one thing to notice that we have blockages of energy in certain areas of our life. We could have blockages of energy in terms of money or time or creativity or intimacy or relationships or career or health or happiness or success or spirituality, blockages in any one of those areas. So it's quite enough to notice, not quite enough to notice it. we need to confront it from time to time, right? We need to confront the things that are blocking us. And that takes a lot of courage. And sometimes it's just not that easy. It's just easier not to look at our stuff. Have you noticed that? Just easier not to notice. But when we do look at our stuff, when we look at the areas of our life and we tell the truth about it, and then take authentic action, we gain insights. We have access to experiences and to trapped energy that is now available for us so that we can dance with our dreams and our possibilities instead of dancing with our doubts and our fears. And this is what the hero's journey is all about. I know you know this. When I think of some of the relationships that I had in the past, I was in a relationship with 2 different women for 14 years, and it was the same exact pattern of dysfunction, right? There was at some point that I just had to wake up to it. I had to wake up and find a deeper meaning for myself so that I could attract someone like Patricia. So cutting through our old beliefs and our old behaviors can sometimes mean cutting through what we Unity ministers called spiritual double talk, or spiritual bypass, or happy babble. Have you heard that before? Mm-hmm. Happy babble, or the metaphysicals, right? And that's where you drown yourself in joy songs, and you chant affirmations till you're blue in the face, and you have a perfectly beautiful prayer practice, and you meditate for many hours a day, and yet you still feel stuck. Or you feel like you're not getting the results that you want out of life, the results that you expect out of life. So that's why it's important to look at what I'm calling the beliefs in incomplete spirituality. What ideas and beliefs do we hold that are creating obstacles for us and that are holding us back? And now you may be wondering, what is or how can there be incomplete spirituality? The Greek philosopher Trismegistus said that God is that whose center is everywhere and whose circumference is nowhere. Meaning that God is everything, God is everywhere, everything in manifest and unmanifest creation is the totality of God, by whatever name you use or whatever concept. Even black holes. Have you seen this? This came out just 2 or 3 days ago. The first image of the black hole that is at the center or the nucleus of our Milky Way galaxy. That's absolutely incredible. It's 16 million miles in diameter. It's 4.2 million, it has the mass of 4.2 million of our suns. You can't even comprehend those numbers. So the wholeness of God is everywhere present, all the time, in all places, in all dimensions, in every fabric of our being, in the beingness of all beings, and even in black holes, everywhere. Which also means that everything is ever and only spiritual. So you've heard it said that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. We're really also spiritual beings having a spiritual experience. The Kabbalah, which is part of the Jewish esoteric tradition, has an interesting teaching promulgated by Rabbi Isaac Luria, who was a 16th century rabbi in Palestine. And this is a little bit complicated, and frankly, it's really beyond my current understanding, but it goes something like this, that long before creation, the light of the Creator filled the entire cosmos, beyond our conception of time and space. And this is called Ein Sof. The Ein Sof is limitless, beyond description, beyond all archetype, the hidden essence of God that is entirely unknown to human beings. Lisa Simpson, wise Lisa Simpson from The Simpsons, described it this way. She says, "I don't know who or what God is exactly. All I know is he's a force more powerful than my mom and dad put together." So before the beginning, there was no creation. Before the beginning, there was only Ein Sof. And at the beginning of manifest creation, the Ein Sof contracts its essence, retreating itself into itself This is what the Vedantas call consciousness becoming conscious of itself. It retreats from itself into itself as if taking a deep breath or a deep inhalation. And the act of withdrawal inward creates a space or a vacuum infinitesimally small in relation to God's infinity, in which there is now room for the dimensions of manifest creation to unfold. And so as the essential nature of the Ein Sof is light, emanations of this divine light take form as channels of divine energy called the Sephirot. And there are 10 Sephirot. This is also called the Tree of Life. The 10 Sephirot are divine qualities like divine will and wisdom and understanding and love and kindness and mercy and beauty. And they all attempt to define three things: the nature of the Creator, the nature of manifest creation, and how creation manifests in and through us as us. That's what this all tries to depict. And if it sounds very familiar, it's because Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, also recognized that there are divine qualities. They called it the 12 powers. 12 powers that emanate and that express in us in different ways. So here's where it gets interesting. The 10 Sephirot are vessels of light that each contain a particular divine emanation or quality of light from the Ein Sof, but these vessels were unable to contain the magnitude of God's infinite light, and so they shattered. And much of the light from the vessels returned to its source, but the others fell into empty space, and they attached themselves to shards of these broken vessels. And then husks or shells formed around each shard, imprisoning the light within, and this became everything in manifest creation. You with me so far? No. Not at all. So Rabbi Luria said that everything in creation has this spark of divine light, or what he called holy sparks, that are imprisoned or trapped within each being in creation, within everything in manifest creation. And that is why the deepest yearning, the deepest desire of everything in creation, including human beings, is to realize the wholeness of God once more and to return to its one source. So this is really actually more complicated than I've explained. So I'm actually in conversation with a rabbi, and I'm looking to bring him here in the fall to explain this a little bit more in detail. So I'll let you know if that happens. But again, if it sounds somewhat familiar, it is the perennial philosophy. It is the philosophy that is taught by Unity and New Thought and many other wisdom traditions, that we all have this spark of divinity within us, as Daniel said, that we all have the capability of expressing our full divinity, what Jesus called the Christ nature, or what we call the Christ potential, just as Jesus said we could, that we all have the capability of directly experiencing the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven, just as Jesus said we could. But recognizing the spark of divinity within us is not always that easy, is it? I mean, you hear it almost every week in Unity, right? But it's not that easy to recognize it. Many of us find that the spiritual path is one of unlearning much of what we've been taught that has diminished us, that's affected our self-esteem, our feelings of self-worth, our feelings of purpose, the things that have clouded the magnificence of who we really have come here to be. I always remember this billboard in Kansas City when Patricia and I were in seminary. It was a giant billboard right on I-70. It said, "What would you attempt if you knew you could not fail?" And it was signed God, right? I thought it was so cute. I would just imagine God running around signing billboards. So all of this is a rather long introduction to some of the beliefs that we run into in our spiritual path. And the first belief is that the good stuff doesn't come easy. Have you found that to be true sometimes? We have to work for it, right? Sometimes we have to suffer for it. There's a quote in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7. Jesus says, "Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction, and those who enter it by it are many." And this is a theme that's found in many sacred scriptures around the world. The Katha Upanishad says that the sharp edge of a razor is difficult to pass over. Thus the wise say the path to salvation is hard. And do you remember the story of the Tower of Babel? Early on in the creation of humanity, all the people in the world were united. They were all one. They spoke one language. And they were building a tower up to heaven. And this is what the scripture says in Genesis chapter 11. It says, "And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men had built. And the Lord said, Behold, the people are one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. The Lord said, Let us go down there and confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them from abroad, from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off building the city." How does that strike you? Doesn't that seem mean and downright rude? Here the people are one. This is what many of us dream about, the oneness of our human family, right? They're reaching for heaven. They're reaching for God. They're unrestrained from accomplishing anything they imagine to do. And God comes along and he squishes the whole project, right? He just squishes it. He creates separation, he creates confusion, and he scatters everybody all around to the four corners. Now, of course, the Fillmores had a metaphysical interpretation about all this. The Fillmore said that when human beings think that they can reach God by purely mental ways, or if they think that heaven is a physical place, then confusion results. And that it's only through recognizing or realizing the inner spirit of truth that we gain peace and that we gain the kingdom of heaven. So that's what they said about this passage. But similar passages or similar stories are found in other traditions. In Greek mythology, we have the story of Daedalus, who created the labyrinth in Crete for the king of Minos. But he lost favor with the king, and he was imprisoned in a tower, and he decided to escape. And the way he would do that, he was build wings out of feathers and wax. He made one for himself and one for his son Icarus. And he warned Icarus. He said, Icarus, don't go too low and don't go too high. But, of course, Icarus got enamored with the power of flight, and he began to soar higher and higher and higher as if to reach heaven. And the sun melted his wings, and he fell to the earth, and he drowned in the sea. And he was killed. So maybe there was a good reason why the gods of the ancient peoples never promised us easy access to the heights of their respective heavens. And maybe the Tower of Babel had to stop not because people were arrogant, but rather because it was too easy for mortals to walk up the steps to the divine before they were ready. We don't know. I do believe that we have the right to expect miracles, to pray for what we desire, to pray for what we need, to hold fast to our goals and dreams, to move towards our goals and dreams, and to know, as Jesus said, that it is the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. But sometimes we do have to work hard for what we want. We have to do our spiritual work. We have to do our spiritual practices. We have to do our spiritual preparation. We have to examine parts of our lives that maybe we don't want to examine, but will free us if we do. Have you noticed that? When you really do finally get to look at those things, it frees you. It unleashes untapped energy. On the other hand, many of us have also had the experience that sometimes the good stuff does come easy. How many of you had experiences like that, where the good stuff does come easy, right? There are times when things seem to manifest in the right and perfect way, at the right and perfect time, times when we feel like we're in the flow, times when we are realizing that we really are fully conscious conduits of energy. And that's something that we aspire to as spiritual warriors, right? We aspire to that on the spiritual path, to be in connection, to be in the flow of divine life. And we do that by keeping up with our spiritual practices. So the second belief, oh, this is the Tower of Babel. I had images. And this is Icarus. Poor Icarus. So the second belief, thinking positive thoughts will make it happen. Right? Thinking positive thoughts will make it happen. So don't get me wrong, positive thinking and positive attitudes are vitally important. They're a foundation of unity and new thought, but they're not magic. And this is one of the criticisms that the great unity writer Eric Butterworth had about how people use affirmations. He says that people use affirmations like magical incantations without faith, repeating them by rote and without feeling. And then they wonder why things aren't changing, why their life isn't changing. So the scientific prayer that Fillmore's and Butterworth and Ernest Holmes, the scientific method of prayer that they wrote about, is anchored in positive affirmations of truth that are anchored in feelings, anchored in our belief, anchored in thoughts at the deepest levels of our being. And it's what Jesus had in mind when he said, pray believing that you have already received. He wasn't talking about glib believing. He was talking about believing, you know. So positive thinking will happen, provided two things. When it's in alignment with consciousness, with truth principles that are anchored in thoughts and feelings, and when we engage in authentic action, right? For example, you could affirm your ideal body weight while you're eating 5 donuts, right? That is not consistent with that affirmation. So our affirmations have to be consistent. Belief number 3, you can't have everything you want. Is that true? How many of you have wanted something which you did get, but that turned out not to be a good thing? Anybody? Like a job you wanted, right, really badly, but if you had gotten it, you wouldn't have had the great job that you have now, something like that. Or how many of you have wanted something which you did get, and it turned out badly, right? Like a relationship or a particular person. So thank God we don't always get what we want, but we do get what we need. We do get what we need for our spiritual growth that we can learn from. And if we believe that there is only one presence and one power, God, the good, omnipotence, this implies that if we get ourselves aligned to the Spirit of God within us, and if we allow God to outpicture through us from its inexhaustible divine substance, then we will be in the flow, that our lives will unfold in divine order for the highest and best of ourselves and for the highest and best of others. So belief number 4, spiritual people shouldn't be financially prosperous. Who said? Who taught us that money is the root of all evil? That poverty is next to godliness? That why and when did we begin believing that that was true? And has this belief served us in reaching our goals and dreams, or has it prevented us from reaching our goals and dreams? So you know that vows of poverty are not a unity teaching. Many scholars, including unity and New Thought people, don't believe that Jesus taught this. In fact, Charles Fillmore, who co-founded Unity, pointed out that Jesus accepted the proposition fully that God is our source and that God has provided for all things for God's children. He said that Jesus seldom had need for money because he went back of money to the idea it represents and dealt with money in the idea realm. Now, how do you deal with money in the idea realm? How do you do that? Well, it's by knowing that the core of our being, that God, by whatever name or by whatever concept, is the source of our abundance, and aligning our consciousness with the consciousness of abundance in thought, word, and action. That's in the realm of idea. And Eric Butterworth said it this way, beautifully. Prosperity manifests not by asking God for more, but by conditioning our minds through prayer to accept more of God's good. Now think about that for a minute. Because when we're down on money or can't pay a bill or just we want more money for the church or more money to support wonderful causes. We have some folks here today. We think, oh God, give us more money, right? Butterworth is saying something completely different. He says, condition your minds through prayer to accept more of God's good, that God's good is already there. It's waiting to be given. But we have to be open and receptive to it. We have to remove the blocks that would allow us to be open and receptive. So it's not money that's the root of all evil, but the attachment and the forgetting about these core principles and these core values that throughout the world have been misused and abused about money and then taught to us as well. And my great role here is Sir John Templeton. When I was a stockbroker many years ago with Dean Witter, I sold the Templeton International Mutual Funds without knowing anything about the man, John Templeton. Templeton became a multi-billionaire. He gave away $40 million every year through his Templeton Foundation, primarily to promote world peace through interfaith dialogue, and also for research on the relationship between religion, science, and spirituality. And Templeton once gave an interview. This is what he said: I grew up as a Presbyterian. Presbyterians thought the Methodists were wrong. Catholics thought all Protestants were wrong. The Jews thought the Christians were wrong. So what I'm financing is humility. I want to help people to realize that you shouldn't think you know it all. Isn't that beautiful? He was a great man. He was financing humility. It's brilliant. Templeton wanted his foundation to stand apart from any consideration of dogma or personal belief, and to seek out grantees, recipients of the awards, who were innovative, creative, enthusiastic, open to competition and new ideas, to the big questions of life. And so he loved unity. He loved unity, and he supported unity through his grants. He was a benefactor of unity for many, many years, and even after his death, the unity movement continues to receive grants from the Templeton Foundation. So can you think of some wonderful things that you could do or accomplish if you had financial wealth? Anybody? You could think of some good things, yeah. So the question about financial prosperity is one that we explore in all the prosperity classes that we do here. Would it be all right if your life got easier? Was the first question. And the second is, would you be willing to look at some of your beliefs about money and prosperity, and if they're holding you back, let them go. Let them go. So these are the 4 beliefs that we've covered: that the good stuff doesn't come easy, that thinking positive thoughts will make it happen, that you can't have everything you want, that spiritual people shouldn't be financially prosperous. I'm sure that there are many more beliefs that we could look at, but we don't have the time. And so I hope you'll consider some of these things and just think about where you stand with these different things. Are they true? Are they not true? How could they inform you? How could they forward you on your spiritual journey? And I want to end with the words of Swami Bhyanananda, who said that if you are looking for the keys to the universe, I have some bad news and some good news. The bad news is there is no key. The good news is it has been left unlocked. Right? So let's prepare for our meditation. Okay.
So I'm going to teach you another song. You already know the words there. This is the prayer for protection, and we'll do it twice, just so you can get fully involved the second time. But let's take this moment to go into the peace and the knowing and the knowledge that God is everywhere, through all things. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. From the top again. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well.
So let's continue on. If your eyes are not closed, I invite you to close your eyes. And we take time to pull back, to retreat within ourselves for this time, this meditation time. We've been considering how sometimes the good stuff doesn't come easy, but that doesn't have to be the truth, does it? We've been considering how thinking positive thoughts will make it happen. And knowing that those thoughts anchored in feeling really produce results. We've been told in our lives that we can't have everything we want. But we also have the ability to say no to that, don't we? We have the ability to say, yes, I can. To dance with our dreams, to dance with our possibilities. We have the power of choice. We've been told that spiritual people shouldn't be financially prosperous. But we have choice. We can say, why not? All the good things that we can do to help people. So we are affirming in this moment that we are the divine spark. We are the people we've been waiting for. We are all the beauty and majesty and glory of what the Creator created with us, for us, as us. And that it is God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. That all that God is, the totality of all that God is available to us right now if we are but open and receptive. So let's just now take this into the silence for a moment. In the silence. Right now we have the power of choice. Right now we have the power to change. Right now we have the power to direct our attention, to direct our intention. Right now we have the power to choose what to believe, what forwards us in our evolution. Right now we have the capability of receiving all of God's good right now. Right now. And so it is. So let's take a few moments and just open the eyes when it feels comfortable. And Janice, before you do that, we have a special presentation today. I'd like to invite Shirley Fleischman to come up and our special guests, Cindy and Renee, to come up. Cindy and Renee are representing an organization, a nonprofit in Charlottesville called On Our Own. And I think, come on up. Yeah, come on up. Yeah, come on up. Yeah, let me put this on too.
As you should.
Yeah. There's a microphone right there. The reason I wanted to bring Shirley up is because I want to let you know that, we are a tithing church. We give 10% of everything that comes into us, and we send it out every month. And we have a community tithing team now comprised of Shirley and Jackie Brown and Lynn Foster. And we designate a portion of our tithes every quarter to a nonprofit. And the tithing committee, with the board's approval this month, approved our tithe for On Our Own. And so, Cindy, would you want to say what you all do and just tell us a little about your organization?
Good morning, and thank you for inviting us in your generous gift. I was told I was given 3 minutes, and I don't think I've ever said anything in 3 minutes. So let me get in here. On Our Own, what an appropriate place to be to tell you about On Our Own. Grace, mercy, and blessings. That's it. That's how we've gotten where we are. And although we're not religiously affiliated, we know that the universe shines on our own because we give out good. It comes from our heart. There's never a judgment zone at On Our Own. Our place is like yours. We accept and we receive all. And we believe that recovery is possible and on any level. I may not be president, but I'm at a good space, a good quality of life. We believe that everyone, no matter what your circumstances, no matter who you are, deserves a quality of life. And that's what we do. We are all from lived experience. We all share something in common, and that keeps us from being unique, that keeps us humble, that keeps us green and growing, to understand that to reach those that haven't exactly gotten to that plateau where they want to be in life, we never give up is our motto. And so, again, I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of our heart. Your contributions, your tithes, your generous donation will definitely be used, and you will be proud. And I'm going to let Renee say a few things, but before I do that, whoever Patricia is that's married to this man, you got a good one. You know, he went through 14, so if you are out there, Patricia, this is for you.
We should have given you more.
Cindy's amazing. I just wanted to say On Our Own is an organization
built by peers, run by peers. Those of us with lived experience, whether it be a mental health diagnosis and or a substance use challenge, we want to help others not have to suffer the same way that we have. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi, Richard.
Thank you, guys. Janice?
Thank you to On Our Own for all that you do, the many ways you serve. And thank you, Don and David and Jim, for feeding our souls so beautifully and helping us know the truth of who we are and who we can become. So thank you so much. So we have an opportunity now to give back a portion of all the good we've received. And before we do this, I'd like to welcome anyone who's here for the first time. Do we have any first-timers? Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Beautiful, loving energy, right? Yes, amazing, amazing. And if there's anyone online who's joining us for the first time, we welcome you as well. So there are many ways to give to Unity of Charlottesville online, text to give, U.S. mail, or give here in person into our butterfly net. Ellen's coming around with our butterfly net. We are so, so grateful for all that you do, all of your tithes in so many ways to sustain our beautiful spiritual home, Unity of Charlottesville. We couldn't do it without you, and you live in our hearts. We love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your gifts. And so let us bless our tithes and offerings together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Has anybody ever questioned where they are in life and whether they were on the right path? That's what this song is about. Know that it's always God's choice and divinity that is behind you, through you, and surrounds you. How can I know that I'm on the right path? How can I know the way? Oh, it's easy to see when I turn to look back. The stepping stones all along the way. But it feels like I'm spinning my wheels, turning in circles, running in place, standing still, like I'm just moving too slow. I'm losing momentum, swimming too close to the shore. How can I know that I'm on the right path? How can I know the way? Oh, it's easy to see when I turn to look back. The stepping stones all along the way. But when I look back, I see it was pure divinity. The journey was provided for me. When I see the struggle and pain, oh, they kept me from straying, gave me my growth on the way. So that's how I know that I'm on the right path. That's how I know I'm on my way. Oh, it's easy to see when I turn to look back, the stepping stones all along the way. But when I look back, I see it was pure divinity. The journey was provided for me. When I see the struggle and pain, they kept me from straying, gave me my growth on the way. And that's how I know that I'm on the right path. That's how I know I'm on my way. Oh, it's easy to see when I turn to look back, the stepping stones all along the way. The stepping stones all along the way.
Yes.
So we do have some opportunities for transformation. The first thing I want to talk about is the mask policy. The Board of Trustees had a meeting, our annual monthly meeting this month, and the board's decision was to try to, from starting next week, to recommend but have masks optional. So how do you all feel about that? Just raise your hands. Is that a good thing? So we do have these social distance areas here on the sides of the chapel. I, for one, will continue to wear my mask in group gatherings, and I know many others will do that as well, but we thought we would just try it out and see how it goes. It's a moving target, as you know. It has been throughout the entire pandemic, so the policy may change again. But as of next week, masks recommended but optional, okay? I'll be doing Unity Basics classes starting this Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. Unity Basics 1 is about the history of Unity. Unity Basics 2 is about what Unity teaches. So if you're interested in learning about Unity and knowing what it is, I invite you to join us on Zoom for that. And it is a requirement for voting membership. Did you have an announcement that you wanted to make? Is it about the fundraiser? Oh, I have a thing about that somewhere. There. Go on, come on up. It's right there. Yeah.
Good morning.
It's not on.
All right. So we are closing out our fantastic fall fundraiser from last fall. So we raised over $22,000. Thank you so much. Woo! Woo-hoo! And part of the deal was if you gave us a donation, that we had a gift for you in that flow of divine prosperity. So if you have not yet claimed your gift, come see me out in the narthex after the service. If you are online, there's in the Wednesday email, there's my email. Please contact me, and in the next couple of weeks, you will be receiving your gifts. Thank you.
Thanks, Mira.
First, I want to say my apologies to Daniel. I called him David. I was in such a trance. I was in such a trance that I thanked him by saying David.
Yeah, I think you called me Billy today, I think.
Billy, I don't know. God only knows. You had me in trance too, Don. I know he's Daniel. Anyway, we have a midweek healing service, and powerful, powerful, powerful things happen at this service. So please, if you have anything you want to receive prayer about, or friends you want to have us hold in prayer for, join us. Or if you just want to be an absolutely beautiful, miraculous entity, come join us via Zoom every Wednesday from 6:30 to 7.
Yesterday was Virginia Hohenstein's 103rd birthday. So, so I saw her this week, and we brought her flowers from our congregation, and we have a giant card in the lobby. So if you'd like to sign a personal message to Virginia, it's right in the lobby. You can't miss it. Just sign it, say something nice to her. She loves cards and she loves visits, and so she'll appreciate that. And the board has also decided to rename the UHHC the Healing Center closed in December. And so we feel it's time to give it a new name, something that reflects kind of what it is. So we're inviting your suggestions to rename the Holistic Healing Center. And there's a big blue box in the lobby on the table there. And if you have a suggestion for what to rename that building, please write it down, and we'll all consider it together.
And we do have our pastoral care team. If you have a need, please email pastoralcare@unitycharlottesville.org or call our office at the main number.
And there will be a virtual fellowship right after the service. So if you're watching on YouTube, you need to log off YouTube and log back onto Zoom. The Zoom link is on our website, unitycharlottesville.org. And you'll have the opportunity to just chat and have fellowship with other folks. So we hope you'll enjoy that. So just left is to thank people. Don, you have something? Bookstore is open. Yay, Don. Thank you for doing that.
Yay, Don.
And Don is looking also for volunteers, and as is the blessing team also. We're looking for new people. If you are feeling that you'd like to get to know this community a little bit better, there's no better way to do it than to volunteer for one of these teams. And the blessing team is a great way to do that, because you really virtually get to meet people and literally get to meet people. So thank you, Daniel, for being here today. It was fabulous having you.
Thank you.
Daniel Capel, thank you so much. Thank you. Blair is on her way back from Paris, and she'll be back next week. She'll be here. And Jim, thank you for being here. And Janice, thank you so much for doing a lovely job today. And I also want to thank for the past, while I was away, Buddy Leffers and PMH we already thanked, and Peggy Ruth was fabulous, and Rhonda. So thank you for helping out and being here while I was gone. And thank you for our sound team, Bob and Carol and Maggie's up there, and Cindy Payne and Ellen on our blessing team. And thank you, everybody who's helped out. So can we bring our children up?
And thank you, Don.
Yes, you're welcome. We are walking as the light of God. We are walking as the light of God. Walking as the light of God. We are walking as the light of God. We are walking. We are walking. We are walking as the light of God. We are walking. We are walking. We are walking as the light of God. The microphone's back here.
Beautiful. Greetings. My name is Mark Boston, and I'm your youth director here at Unity of Charlottesville. And today our topic was oneness. What is the basic idea that we talked about today surrounding oneness?
We are all connected in the circle of life by God within us.
All right. And what does a circle represent?
A circle represents evolution as a process of transformation from death to birth, ending and beginning, as a circle has no beginning and no end. In this way, a circle represents eternity.
Wonderful.
In many customs and spiritual beliefs, a circle represents the divine life force or spirit that keeps our reality in motion. It symbolizes vitality, wholeness, completion, and perfection.
Brilliant. Now, what do we do today to illustrate oneness?
We did team-based games outside. This was a nice day. Yeah, we just played games that were based on teamwork and helping each other to reach a common goal.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And speaking of circles, family ones that is, after service on Sunday, June 5th, we will have a meeting of the Divine Minds to discuss the direction of our youth ed program. Come and share your thoughts about what you like about the program and what you'd like to see the program offer that it currently does not. Our program should be designed to give its participants a degree of freedom in co-creating our curriculum, one that encourages the exploration of age-appropriate spiritual concepts to help our youth find sacred resonance and contentment in their lives. So I look forward to seeing you on June 5th. Thank you. Can we say the children's blessing together? Children, unity, while yours, teachers and parents, you are loved, special, and important. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks. So let's stand and we will say our prayer for protection. So we'll have done that twice today, which means you are mightily protected today.
Oh, yeah. You're really prayed up today.
All right. So together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And wherever God is, all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Healing helpers are here to pray. Buddy Leffers is here to pray. And Daniel has CDs out in the lobby so you can take a piece home. Have a great week.
Thank you,
God
Unity
bless.
of Charlottesville. Thank you.